没有，没有。
然后我也是耳朵很健，你搬家没有？
Meeting starts. President Liu, please ring the opening bell.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Rotarians, please all rise for the four-way test. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First,
Is it the truth?
Second,
Is it fair or concern?
Third,
Whether people well, their friendships,
fourth.
whether beneficial or concern.
Please be seated. Rotary song. Today we will have P.P. Path to lead us to sing.
Okay, let's sing the Rotary song. No piano coming. Okay? R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y is no all land and sea. From north to south, from east to west, he promised all who serve the best. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary. Thank you.
Thank you, P.P. Path. Introduction of visiting Rotarians and honorable guests. P.P. Juice, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, President Lu, and guests and fellow Rotarians. It's my great pleasure to introduce you today's guest. First, our speaker, Miss Angela Wu. And the detailed introduction will be prepared by live later. And also, Wendy, Audrey. And also, we're very happy to see Anna and her lovely granddaughter. Welcome. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, P.P. Juice. Today we don't have visiting Rotarians, so we will pass the guest of Rotary song. Okay, President's time.
Hi everyone, good to see you all. We have quite a few familiar faces. Welcome, good to see you, Wendy. Good to see you, Anna. And thank you for bringing your lovely granddaughter. And it's good to see Sumin and Mike, who've been very busy within Taiwan and abroad, both of you. Good to see you all. Over the weekend, we had two back-to-back informal meetings because of the two events we're coming up. One is Christmas. It was hosted by Live. Just making sure. We started from 11:30. We had a good lunch at Koi Plus. And I think the party is pretty much all set. We have games, entertainment for our Christmas party. It's coming up on December 16th, so please register with Ann as soon as possible. And Charter, hosted by P.P. Robin. He's busy today, but he will be back next weekend, the week after, to take some photos for us. And for Charter ceremony, it's kind of scary because it's coming up and we still have a lot of things undergoing. but I think it should be fun. We'll have the band is ready, the theme is ready. I think we'll get everything done, and the invitation card is ready. We'll send it out. Before this. I think within this couple weeks. Thanks to Charter's team leader, Amy, and the party was hosted by P.P. Roman. Thank you very much.
Okay, next we will have Rotarian Joy to introduce the Christmas party on December 16th. Let's welcome Joy.
Good afternoon. Yes, our Christmas party will be on December 16th. Okay, that's a little bit earlier because the 23rd will be the very best day for the lunar calendars. I mean, that's the big wedding days for all the new couples. Because and we were holding again live wedding, which is lighter wedding, a new restaurant, and the same just had a very good meal with last month. Yes. Okay, and so the time will be start at 5 o'clock in the afternoon because we think that the view of the sunset will be very beautiful, so everybody can meet a little bit earlier. Okay, and then the fees. Okay, for all the Rotarians and the spas and the kids under 6, that will be free charge, and the kids from 6 to 12, that will be $500 per person, and also the guest will be $1,000 per person. Okay, and the most important thing is this. Okay, and this year we are going to holding the white Christmas party. So please, you have a dress code with white. Okay, for that will be something kind of like this. Okay, yes. So we want to see, or probably see snow on the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Joey. Okay, next is also about Joey. Next week we will have a community service arranged by Joey, and it will be at Boai Elementary School, and all members are encouraged to participate and be company with Joey. And if you have time, please register with AMT. And for our anniversary charter ceremony, we will have a new personal photo tagging, and it will be held by PP Fire and PP Robin, who are really professional at taking photos. So please come, if you have time, please come to the meeting on November 22nd and November 29th, and we will, please come earlier to take the photo, and PP Fire and PP Robin will help us to take the photo. And please wear formal?
Up to you. Well, we're doing this for the charter brochure. Some of our photos have been I want to say outdated. They look quite young from those photos, so we just like to update them. For example, I think mine was quite young back then, so I will try to take a new one.
To move close to the reality, right? Okay, next, let's get into our main program today. May we have Rotarian Live to introduce our speaker.
Hello, President Lu, Secretary Zimi, today's speaker Angela Wu, and the fellow Rotarians, and our good friend Wendy and Anna. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's my great honor to introduce today's speaker, Angela Wu. Angela Wu received her MBA from University of Southern California and her bachelor degree in accounting and international relations from UCLA. Angela founded the Dana Children's Association, dedicated to support children's education in rural regions of Nepal, Bhutan, Taiwan, India, and China. She is also the general manager of Kubalan Trading Corporation. Prior to moving back to Taiwan, Angela was the vice president of Asia Pacific of Festino. She managed the teams in Shanghai and oversees the company operations in Asia. Prior to Festino, she had many years of experience in the corporate world, including working for 3M. She also was senior consultant leading project teams that improve business process of Fortune 500 companies. Today, we are delighted to have her here to share her topic, the path to NGO placement to my life. Let's welcome Angela Wu.
President Liu, Secretary Jimmy, Live, and all the Rotary members and guests, good afternoon. It is a great honor to be here today to be speaking with all of you and to share some of my past few years' experiences working as volunteer setting up a nonprofit organization in Taiwan. Before we begin, there's a short video I'd like to first share with you. This was more than 10 years ago, when I was still attending business school in the States. I had the chance to went on a charity trip with the school, and we went to a very remote area in Qinghai, China. It was my first time seeing those kids and their surroundings. As you know, Qinghai is up on a very high altitude. We're talking about 4,200 feet above sea level. So there's high altitude sickness. And that was in the very early morning, around 6 o'clock. And all the kids were on the playground. They find their own little space on this rocky playground with one hand with their book, the other hand with a rock or a stick. And they were practicing writing on the playground. And there was all of them. It was just chilly, very cold outside. As I was standing there watching this whole scene, tears just came out of my face. I guess I've never seen kids in such deprived condition in my life. Kids that are looking for ways to finish or to continue their educations. I guess my own life experience has never been anything like that. I've been raised in a middle-class family. I went to the States when I was 13, and I pretty much grew up there. I went to my high school, went to my college, went to my graduate degree, and it was all in the States. So in a way, everyone around me, all my friends around me, were just like me. We were to a way, we were just, we kind of went by life, and we were not very, very, very well off, but we were standard. So I had no idea in my imaginary that there were kids thousands and thousands of miles away that were looking, yearning for ways for education. Yet they lack all those opportunities. So that trip really hit me. And after that, I kept asking, what is it I can do for these kids? Is there something I can do for them? And how can life be so different? But life got busy. We all got busy, and life went on. So I went on with my life for a couple of years. But I never forget. These kids were always in the back of my mind, and I always remember them. And in 2009, after talking to some very, very close friends, we decided that it's probably time for us to do something. And that's when we kind of started this educational fund where we all kind of went out on our own and collectively kind of raised our own funds. And whatever we collected, this fund would be intended to just provide stationery for the kids in the remote areas. So you may ask me, why did we choose stationery? There are a couple of reasons. First of all, none of us had the money or the wealth to go out and build schools for the kids. But we thought, stationery is a very practical tool where all of them would need to use during their whole duration of studies. And so it is also, for them, it's a symbol of encouragement. When they receive the stationery from us, they will remember that somewhere out there on the world, someone cares about them, and that we're encouraging them to finish their education. So since then, every fall, before the school starts, we would send out stationaries to schools, orphanages, boarding schools in the rural areas of Taiwan, Nepal, Bhutan, India, and China to help them. And this was our first pen that was made. All our stationaries are customized, made with our logo, and the reason why we're doing this, because when we send them out to the school, we want the kids to feel respected. So all the stationaries are new, and they're all the same, so they feel equal. So the kids don't compare themselves, is what we want to do. So we started with a pen, then the next year we had mechanical pencil, then the next year we had a lead, then the next year we have erasers, and then we have a pencil case and a backpack, and so that we kind of build, and we eventually have a kit for the kids every year with the exercise book and everything. And so to help you see just how we evolve over the years, there's a video I would like to show you. So that was, as you can see, grew very, very small over the years. I still remember when we only had very, very minimum fund, and whatever we could gather, we would buy everything for the kids. And the first few years, I was doing the sorting and the repackaging myself in my little apartment in Shanghai. And so I was doing all those repackaging and the sorting, and then going back and forth between the post office to ship them. And then as we grew, then we had some volunteers to help us. We got some volunteers to help us pack, and then we were gathering in our factories, at my friends' factories actually, and then form our own production lines, and doing all the packaging and resorting, and then the shipping of every stationaries. So it kind of grew, and now these 2 years we actually finally got some factories willing to do all the sorting and repackaging for us. Because now we're talking about not only the items of our stationery grew, but also the number of students and the schools actually grew as well. So it just happened that in 2015, my friend asked me, all of my friends started this project with me, asked me to consider more seriously about setting up an official charitable entity in Taiwan. And so I gave some really serious thought to this, because before that I had no experience in nonprofit organization other than doing my own volunteering. And so this would be a very big decision for me. And I remember thinking to myself, well, if this is kind of meant to be, and what I'm doing, I can help more kids, then why not give it a try? And I think the worst thing in life is having time pass and regret about what you could have done, yet you didn't. And so I was actually under some life transition myself. So then I moved back to Taiwan, and before you know it, by the second half of 2015, I was filing all the paperwork with the Taiwanese government and get ourselves set up. So by January 1st, 2016, we actually officially established our association in Taiwan. And, as we are moving towards, by the end of that year, we have so many schools that by the words of mouth, they kind of came to us. None of them, we kind of approached them. Only the initial ones that I know came, but then the rest kind of just the words of mouth from the same region, they just came to us. So by the end of 2016, we were sending more to the Nepal, India, Bhutan, and also mainly along the Himalayan regions of China, and then also the rural areas in Taiwan. Now we're partnering with organization in Africa, and they are also helping the children in Africa. So with them, partnering with them, we're actually sending some of our stationaries to Africa as well to help the kids there. And in 2017, last year, in order to sustain our operations on a long-term basis, I thought we need to create a new brand called Kuvela. It is actually a trading company where we're actually selling some of the health-related products such as American ginseng and tea wrapped in beautiful gift boxes. And so for the members that would like to buy these gift boxes for their friends, family, clients during the holiday seasons, then they can get from us, from Kuvela. And for the proceeds that we're getting from Kuvela, then we are actually in return donating it to the Nair Children Association and to help support the basic operational needs of the association. Now I'd like to change a gear a little bit and just share with you some of the stories and some of the stories of the kids and also the schools that we've been supported over the years. Nepal is one of the countries where we have a lot of schools that we support on a very long-term basis. United Nations has rated Nepal as one of the poorest countries in the world. 42% of its population is living below poverty, and illiteracy, poverty, and the widening of wealth gap has resulted in that many of the children there are being denied of the educational rights. So here is a picture of the kids going to school. You may think I got this from a movie or a snapshot from the movie, but no. I took the shot. This was the kids going to school, and it's very common in Nepal because there aren't enough buses and vans in Nepal for the kids to go to school. So if they were in the mountainside, on the mountainside there could be one bus going on that road one time a day. So if the kids were to miss that bus, then you could never get anywhere. So very often they would try to squeeze on bus or vans whenever they come, And so it's very often to see them on the top of the vans and hanging very, very tight on the handrails like this. Or they would stand in the back of the buses and just hang on to the doors. So, I guess education isn't very easy for a lot of people. And Trimingo Vic School is one of the schools that we support in Nepal. It's a boarding school. It's in Kathmandu. It was established for the kids in the Himalayan regions. So all the people in the mountainside, they can come out of the mountain and go to the schools in Kathmandu and receive their education. And here's a picture of me in 2014. And so back then we really didn't have much fun. We only had the fun enough so that we can buy the stationery, but not to ship them. So what we would do is we would carry all these stationeries everywhere we go. So on my suitcase, if I were to go there, in my suitcase, when you open up, there would be very little personal items, but it was all the stationeries. So if I go to the airport, and many of times I'm overweight. So every time I go to the airport and the airline would say, get something out, open it up. And I open it up and they said, are you selling these in Nepal? I said, no, these are for the kids. And sometimes they would then try to give us a discount on the overweight charges, but sometimes not. But so the kids are very happy, of course, overjoyed to see us. And many of them have not seen the stationaries, like mechanical pencil and eraser. They've never seen it before. So what we would have to do is to teach them how to use it, how to put in the lead, how to use the mechanical pencil so that they can use it. And here's another picture of the little kids doing their prayers. Actually, the school is teaching the kids to do prayers before every morning and also during every meal. I asked the teacher one time, why do the kids need to do the prayers? And so the teacher told me it's a way for the kids to learn devotion, respect, and also appreciate what they have. That's quite touching because if you were to walk into their dining hall and actually observe what the kids are having for lunch, they would have their little plate. And on their little plate would be some vegetables, some potatoes, and maybe just a bun. And I often wonder if this is nutritionally enough for the kids. But the kids there would be just very sincerely do their prayers every time and thinking that they have a nice meal. And this is before we were leaving after spending a few weeks with them. And so the kids rushed out of the classroom and just sat on the stairways. And they started chanting this beautiful prayer, so thanking us for coming and also wishing us well and come back soon. Maybe people think that every time we go to these schools, we are the one who's bringing all these material items or to help them. But the truth is, every time I come back from these trips, I feel I learned so much from these kids than ever before. Here is Olasam Primary School. This school is actually in Paro district in Bhutan. It's actually on the hilltop of on the hilltop of Bhutan, and it's for kids that are of less. Students go to the school from family of less fortunate ones, and so actually when we went to this picture was from that day we went there, and we went to their BB classroom, and it's for kindergartens. So all the little ones were drawing that day. So as you can see on their table, there's a can of crayons that they were using to draw. And from that, it just happened that this year, the color pencil that we're giving them is from Taiwan, the lion color pencil, Taiwan 雄狮彩色铅笔, and they're donating for us to help them. So when we gave them all these color pencils, the whole room was just filled with joy. There was a little guy that he hugged it so tight on his chest, and this little boy there, he kissed it with his mouth. And all these little girls in the back, they start dancing and singing and dancing. The whole room was just filled with happiness. And just watching them smile and knowing that what we're giving them, they find it useful. And I think that's what drives us all these years. And Bhutan is a special country because it's nested in between India and Nepal. It's governed by the king, but it's also a Buddhist country. And since most of our original founders are Buddhists ourselves, so we actually do help some of the monastic schools and colleges in Bhutan as well. This was last month when we went there, actually, to a rural area in Bhutan, and where we went to some of the monastic schools and give them the stationery kit and also the backpack so that they can use. Well, besides our main stationery project, we launched a new project last year called More Reading, More Happiness. And what we're trying to do is we train a team of young volunteers to go to rural areas, initially in China, to help the kids to read and also to read effectively. And they would have to develop, these young volunteers would have to develop tools for the courses and spend weeks with the kids. And by doing so, they would have to, this past summer was our second year doing this program. And there's a short video I would like to highlight the summer program so you have a better idea. She's a college kid right now, so we're training all these young kids, young adults, to go and teach them, and so that they can develop courses that would help them read. We also brought some games for them. And also to help them with creativity, they have to do some homework and presentations. So with this new program, we're now looking for young adults in Taiwan in their high school and colleges to come join us, and we will train them to be qualified teachers. And so the reason why, you might ask, why are we doing this? There are actually a couple of reasons. The first one is all the schools that we are supporting have told us that they need qualified. They're always looking for qualified teachers to help. And especially in Nepal and Bhutan and India, they're always looking for English-speaking and also Mandarin-speaking teachers to kind of stay there for a little bit long term. And the second reason why we're doing this is really for our young adults in Taiwan. Many of you we all know what are the issues that we are most concerned about today is the 22K, and also what is the future for our young generation, right? And I'm sure many of you parents here would feel the same. I've talked to many young adults in Taiwan, and when asked about what do you feel what do you expect for your future, and what do you want to do for your future, many of them look at me as if I'm talking in another language. They look very puzzled. They don't know. And so that concerned us. And so what we believe that this program would actually provide a great opportunity for these kids to go out and to learn and to serve. By developing the courses for the kids, they would have to come up with the right tools to effectively teach. And going to these rural places, they would have to learn to adapt to different cultures. And this will open a new horizon for them and will generate compassion and empathy. And in return, I'm a strong believer myself, because I've been doing this for a couple of years. I'm a strong believer of learning by doing. And so by taking that step forward to serve and to help these kids, these young adults in Taiwan will start to find that inner value within themselves. Because watching what they can provide for others will bring so much strength internally. And that will give them a lot of confidence. And will eventually, we hope, find that meaning they are looking for in life. And on a separate level, of course, we want our Taiwanese kids to shine. We want them to bring our values, our cultures, our beliefs to schools in Nepal, Bhutan, India, and to help the kids there, to teach the kids there, and influence the people around them. Well, for that kind of pretty much has been my NGO path so far, and it's continuing every day. Many people ask me, why do you do this? What drives you every morning to do this? And why can't you do this when you're older, when you're retired? I'm sure many of you probably would ask me that question. So the short answer is, I think it's a calling, but in a way, ultimately, it was my choice. A choice to do something for these children because I feel it's very important for their future. In 2009, when we first started the Children Fund, all of us treated like a separate side project because all of us had a full-time job. We were working full-time. I was working for an American company, as introduced. I was working for Fastenal back then. And Fastenal is very much like Home Depot, where Fastenal sells nuts, bolts, construction supplies. And it had over 6,000 stores in North America. And I was the vice president for Asia Pacific, responsible for all the operations in Asia. To many people, it may seem I had a very glamorous job. But the truth is, I was working extremely long hours and working very, very hard. I would be working in the morning, going to the office, or I'll be traveling somewhere in Asia. And at night, I would have to have conference calls with our headquarters in the States. So I was averaging out 19 to 20 hours working every day for many, many, many years. And for many years, I didn't know what I was doing. I was so busy. I was just so busy doing all those work. And then my body actually hit back on me. In 2014 and 2015, my body fought back. I got sick. And that's when I realized we're really not here forever. Life is very short and very precious. And sometimes we need to prioritize what's most important and decide what we want to do with this limited amount of time. And so that's when I decided to move back and do this, as my friends all suggested I should do. And so life hasn't been much easier with this. It's probably with a lot of responsibilities and also filing all these paperworks and setting up our offices, setting up websites, and also organizing all the different fundraising events and talking to the schools, donors, and also helping to train all the volunteers to go to these rural areas and make sure they're safe. There's been a lot of responsibility on my shoulder these past few years, but it's been so valuable. I've learned so much about myself and also about others, and my heart has always been filled with gratitude. There has been so many friends, people I know, people I don't know, who've helped us tremendously through this process. And my aunt, Life, and her family has been extremely supportive of our cause since the beginning. And without the contribution and all the help of everyone from every corner, I don't think we could ever got this far. So thank you very much. Education is really a long process and takes so much time to nurture and to grow. And we may not see the result within 5 or even 10 years. But I always believe giving is a blessing of itself. To watch these little seeds that we're planting into these children and knowing that it will eventually grow. And when they do, these children will in return be the adults that will go out and influence and impact the people around them, and also for generations and generations to come. And that has been our ultimate aspiration. Thank you very much.
Is there any question for Angela?
I think you're a relatively young association, and how much fund you raised, for example, last year and this year?
Yeah, we're very young, so we're really getting it from all the friends. We don't do a lot of promotions per se. We're just getting it from all the words of mouth from friends and their relatives and friends and friends. So, and everything we collected, everything we try to use on the stationery and the shipping costs. Last year we just hit 1 million, and everybody is volunteer basis. We're not salaried. We try to focus everything on the kids as much as we can. So that pretty much is where we are.
Any more questions?
So when can we send our kids to you?
Please.
They're still too young.
Many people actually, many of my friends and many of my friends who are parents love to send their kids to me, and love for me to bring their kids to these places because they want their kids to see and to learn. And I always joke, no offense, I always joke. I thought, yeah, I know, because once I bring them there, when they come back, they would love you. They would just appreciate every meal, every bit they get. It's true. However, we're really focusing right now for the high school. Or maybe they can come and help out a little bit, middle school. But more high school and college kids. So they're a little bit older and they're more responsible. And so then we can make sure that they can help and serve the kids there, rather than me taking care of the little ones here I'm trying to bring. So when they're in middle school or high school, very welcome. And we're in the process of moving. And so maybe next year, when we are in the new office, welcome. Yeah, come and see us.
since our president nominee is here, maybe you can share with us what's your specific the next year's project, which you might be able to involve a little bit.
Our main
No, your project for next year coming up.
What's your plan or your budget?
Our project. Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. This stationary project is ongoing. It's been 9 years, and we're continuing to support. People ask me, why do we do this every year? And it's really for the schools there, because the schools need to pay this miscellaneous cost. So if we can support them year after year with the stationery, then we can make sure they can save this miscellaneous cost from the school side, because the kids need to use them every time. And so this stationery project, as long as I'm here, I guess we will always be doing this project. And the second is for the kids in Taiwan. We're really looking to train the high school and also college kids so that they can be qualified teachers to go out and to help people in Nepal and Bhutan and India. So these are our two really main projects that we are putting our efforts in.
So PE Jazz, maybe you can consider it into your next year plan. Any questions? No? Okay, maybe you can come to Angela after the meeting and please accept our gift from President Lu.
We have a handful of red envelopes. These are donations from our Rotarians with their names on the bottom to your charity organization, to the dinner.
Okay, thank Angela for the very meaningful speech. Next is attendance report. Pat, please give us a report.
Okay, let me have today's attendance report. We have 25 Rotarians and 3 guests plus 1 baby guest. The total attendance rate is 76%. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat. Sergeant at Arm report. May we have PP Sting to give us a report?
No, not me.
Not you? Oh, okay. Let's welcome Floria. We got a lot of donation today.
Good afternoon, dear all. And today's surgery report, we have 6 donations. The first one from President Lu. Thank you for your speech, Angela. An extraordinary and unconventional journey. You are an inspiration. And from life, welcome speech, Angela Wu. Our good friend Wendy and Anna. Very touching speech. Donate for Dana Association. From Jimmy, thank Angela for sharing what she does for the world. It is nice to have people like her to make the world better. Donation goes to Dana. And from Jules, very touching talk by Angela. Donation goes to Dana. From Wendy, you are an inspiration. And the last one from PP John, donate to Dana 学会. Okay, thank you.
Thank Angela. Thank Angela and also thank Gloria. Okay, we will also have very meaningful events on this weekend. On November 17th and 18th, we will have our international service at with our multicultural movie festival with Keguoguan. And we still like to volunteers on November 18th, which is Sunday. So if you have time and you're interested to come to see the movie, please register with Anne. And also next week, we will have Ms. Zhang Bihua to have her speech. The topic is the art of choral music. And please don't forget, if you have time, please come earlier for your personal photo shoot. And next, President Lu.
Allow me to thank our speaker, Angela, again. She is a true inspiration, and this is our Rotary Model of the Year, BD Bridget. I think she's a good model. She surpassed me, Wendy, and you are a lawyer, money sucking machine.
Scum of the earth, alright?
No, I'm sorry, I'm just joking. You're extraordinary classmates.
You want me to come back?
Extraordinary classmates. And I think thanks to my sister-in-law, I think a lot of people know that it's my daughter's birthday today, Natalie's birthday, and I think I should just get her some colored pencil. Thank you very much.